Capricorn rising, Capricorn sun. So I am going to give you the little planetary roundup for August 23, August 20 to August 27. In the middle of the week, we kind of have a bunch of, not a bunch of stuff, but a couple of things happening that I wanted to talk about. So Mercury is in Virgo, which is his home sign. So Mercury is thinking, communicating, writing. And in Virgo, it's deep analysis, facts, like organizing. This is really good. Mercury's really strong there. You want a fully charged Mercury or any planet. So he's able to do his thing. And he happens to be in your ninth house. So your ninth house is your belief system or, sense of justice. It's also it could be higher learning or education in some way. It could also have to do with spirituality or maybe a spiritual path or gurus, possibly foreign travel. The ninth house is definitely more about the experience of life and how we go about that. Okay, so that is good. So hopefully you've had some interesting, the Mercury, Virgo, facts, and analysis in that ninth house. I don't know, like that's like a deep maybe read into your belief system there or learning something new. Now tomorrow the 24th, but we're also feeling it today, Mercury will be opposing Neptune in your third in Pisces. So Neptune is not Mercury. Neptune is like this light that's coming through on the side. See how everything's normal and you're like, it's normal, but this is kind of like, what is going on? Is this like a magical beam or is it like just a light reflecting? Neptune doesn't tell us the truth. Neptune doesn't tell us what is real. It shows us some beautiful things. So this would be good for, so the Mercury Neptune in any connection is good for like poetry or dance or beautiful writing or beautiful making a film that's like ethereal or underwater or some kind of beautiful vibe like that is not necessarily real, but it's more like it's just more taking things to another level, and it will not survive through as Neptune leaves. As the fog lifts, the reality comes back. Then it's the reality, the light is gone and you can see that it was just a reflection. It's not some magical beam. So that we want to make good use of Mercury, Neptune in some ways for the arts, for poetry, for also possibly because this is Neptune's in your third house, which is communications, but it's also siblings and neighbors and your general everyday routine. I would say that this could be kind of a psychic download. Also, like I've been definitely feeling that lately, where you're just like overwhelmed or inundated with things that are not necessarily facts. And there's no way to really say where it comes from because it's Neptune, it just flooded in. Okay, so that's happening. I would not try to do something that requires great exactness or analysis or skill at that time. This is not a time for like tabulating your taxes or doing anything that's like very fact oriented. It's just not the few days for that. Now the next few days on Thursday, exactly, Mercury in that same place, your ninth house of belief system, will trine Pluto in Capricorn in your first house. So a trine is good, it's expansion, it's harmonious, getting along, and it's like helping each other with projects. It's like, this is perfect, it works. Pluto is not about sitting around having a boring conversation. Pluto is about getting to the deep underpinnings, usually psychologically or emotionally, about why something exists, and in Capricorn, the structure. So this is kind of like Mercury Pluto comes in and it's kind of more like the fog has cleared, the dream is kind of on its way, but now Mercury Pluto is more like, and we can get down to the bedrock of what is actually going on here. And it's in your first house. It's in your house of self, of your identity, how you put yourself out in the world, your body, your appearance. Maybe ask yourself why you're doing certain things. And then, the Mercury there in the ninth, like, why is your belief system in such a way just both of those kind of working together, showing each other, the Mercury kind of highlighting the details of this belief system, and the Pluto sitting there in your first house showing kind of the underpinnings of deep motivations. So there's answers there. They're not always exactly like fun and light. It's more like, oh, wow, it can be kind of emotional or psychological. So I've been telling people that. And then also with these Mercury transits, as Mercury then moves through these last degrees of Virgo, next week we will have Mars moving through the same place. So when we get Mercury opposite Neptune trining Pluto, next week it's going to be Mars doing that. And Mars is not thinking, communicating, and analysis and speaking. Mars is, taking action. How do you get things? Your get up and go, your will, your drive. So it's a lot more about action next week, where this week might be more like thinking and understanding, seeing the fog clear and then getting down to the bedrock. Next week is taking action in those areas. So that's what I wanted to tell people. That's what I have for you here. Yeah. And that is good. And I will be back next week. Thank you.